shocking new rule now forces USCIS to judge your patriotism, not just your paperwork. You heard that right. In 2025, your loyalty to the United States could determine if your green card or citizenship application survives. This isn't a rumor, it's happening right now. If you're interested in this topic, hit the like button, subscribe, and type interested in the comments, and I will give you a heart. Welcome back to US Green Card Report, your trusted source for the latest US immigration news, policy changes, and visa updates. If you're applying for a green card, a visa, or US citizenship, stop scrolling. This affects you directly. Because in October 2025, USCIS and DHS have quietly rolled out new rules that tighten the system like never before. These aren't small policy tweaks. These are seismic shifts that could delay, deny, or even reverse your legal status. Let's break them down. First up, the naturalization test overhaul. On September 17, 2025, USCIS officially launched the first phase of a new civics test, the biggest update in over a decade. The questions have been rewritten to focus on modern civic awareness. But here's the catch. The format has changed too. Applicants now face more open-ended questions, and some are asked to demonstrate practical knowledge, like identifying officials or explaining current events. It's not about memorization anymore. It's about showing you understand America today. Critics argue this could disadvantage older applicants or those with language barriers. USCIS insists it's about modernization. Either way, it's a tougher test. Next, the medical exam form known as Form I-6933. Starting June 2025, USCIS made a silent but powerful change. Your I-693 medical exam is now valid only while your adjustment of status, Form I-585, remains active. If your I-485 is denied, withdrawn, or delayed too long, your medical results expire automatically. That means you'll need a brand new medical exam, new lab work, and a new submission. More cost, more time, and more risk. Think of it as a ticking clock on your case file. Now here's where things get even more controversial. The new anti-Americanism screening rule, announced in August 2025. This directive allows officers to evaluate applicants for anti-American views, behavior, or associations. The government says it's about identifying threats, people who promote terrorism, anti-Semitism, or extremist ideologies. But critics are warning that the term anti-Americanism is dangerously vague. Who decides what's anti-American? Is a social media post criticizing a US policy enough to flag you? Immigration attorneys are already calling this a slippery slope. But the crackdown doesn't stop there. Neighborhood and workplace interviews, something most people believed ended in the 1,990, are back. USCIS can now contact your neighbors, co-workers, or employers to ask about your character and conduct. Officers can even request letters of recommendation to verify your moral standing in your community. Imagine your boss getting a call asking if you uphold American values. It's not science fiction, it's happening right now under the new screening framework. And that's not all. Operation Safeguard, a joint DHS and ICE initiative first introduced years ago, is now fully reactivated. It targets undocumented immigrants with criminal histories in major cities. But legal residents and visa holders are also feeling the heat. USCIS field offices are now cross-referencing data from local enforcement databases, meaning even a clerical error in your file could trigger a review or a hold. Green card holders have reported retroactive reviews, where old cases are reopened under new standards. To make it plain, you can now be flagged not just for what you did, but for what they think you might represent. So what does this mean for you, the applicant, the family sponsor, or the permanent resident trying to take the next step? It means the immigration process in 2025 is no longer just about forms and fees, it's about character, patterns, and perception. If you've posted anything controversial online, if you've delayed filing taxes, if your address doesn't match your documentation, you're under a sharper microscope than ever before. Even minor inconsistencies are being treated as potential integrity risks. USCIS officers have been given expanded discretionary powers to request new evidence, open old files, or deny cases based on ideological or moral concern. And while this might sound like fear-mongering, it's not. It's already happening. Applicants from across states like Texas, New York, and California are reporting strange new interview questions. Do you believe in the US Constitution? Would you defend America if attacked? Questions that feel less like immigration processing and more like loyalty tests. Here's the scary truth. In 2025, your immigration status isn't just paperwork. It's a profile, a digital and behavioral profile built from your data, your activity, and even your public speech. But here's the good news. If you stay informed, stay compliant, and prepare early, you can protect yourself and your family. In the next segment, I'll show you exactly who these new laws hit hardest, how to prepare for the coming reviews, and the hidden signs that your case could be flagged next. Because this isn't the time to panic, it's the time to act smart. Let's get real, these 2025 rule changes weren't designed for everyone. They're designed for specific groups of immigrants who sit at the intersection of uncertainty. Green card holders waiting for renewal, citizenship applicants going through interviews, and visa holders under background review. If you're in any of those categories, you're already inside the system's line of sight. Let's start with green card holders and adjustment applicants. You're the first group under scrutiny because of the new I-693 medical form validity rule. Under the updated USCIS policy, your medical exam results are now valid only while your form I-405-85, your adjustment of status, remains active. That means if your case is delayed, denied, or withdrawn for any reason, your medical exam expires right along with it. You'll have to redo everything. Schedule another civil surgeon visit, pay again, redo blood test, refile, and wait. In short, the clock starts ticking the moment you submit your I-445, and once it stops, your health clearance evaporates. Thousands of applicants who filed in mid-2023 and early 2024 are now being told their medicals are no longer valid. It's costing families hundreds of dollars and adding months to processing times. Now let's talk about citizenship applicants, the group facing the toughest transition in 2025. You're up against not one, but three major changes. 1. The new civics test overhaul. 2. The revived neighborhood and workplace background checks. And 3. The anti-Americanism screening clause. Starting with the new test, it's not just more modern, it's more personal. Applicants are now being asked to describe American civic values in their own words. That means you're graded on interpretation, not memorization. Gone are the days of simply reciting "the president serves a 4-year term." Officers now ask follow-ups like, "Why is the Constitution important to you?" or "How would you describe freedom in America?" This sounds harmless, but it introduces subjective grading. What one officer sees as clear understanding, another might mark as insufficient. And then comes the revived neighborhood and workplace checks. USCIS has quietly reinstated the ability to interview people who know you, neighbors, coworkers, even supervisors, to ask about your behavior, character, and integration into American life. Think of it like the FBI background checks of the 1,950 reappearing in 2025 form. Several applicants from states like Illinois, Arizona, and New Jersey have already confirmed officers contacted their employers to verify consistency of employment and conduct. For many, this feels invasive. For others, it's terrifying, especially those who've had disputes at work, changed jobs, or simply have coworkers who don't understand their culture. Now, the anti-Americanism screening rule adds another layer. This allows USCIS officers to consider whether an applicant has promoted or supported views hostile to the United States. Sounds patriotic on paper, but vague in practice. Immigration lawyers are warning this opens the door to ideological judgment. What counts as hostile? A tweet criticizing US foreign policy? Attending a protest? Posting a meme about inflation? No one knows yet, and that's exactly what makes it dangerous. In one case, in August 2025, a Filipino applicant's naturalization interview was postponed indefinitely because his public Facebook posts about corruption in American politics were flagged by an AI monitoring tool. No formal charges, no clear violation, just further review. The next target group, current visa holders and pending applicants. Even if you're not filing for citizenship, you're not completely safe. The new environment encourages discretionary reviews, meaning officers can reopen or reevaluate pending applications based on new policy alignment. Some non-immigrant visa holders have received new RFEs, requests for evidence, on old cases they thought were settled. This includes employment verification letters, travel history, and tax documentation. USCIS claims this is part of a broader integrity audit, but for many, it feels like moving the goalposts mid-game. And it doesn't stop there. Enforcement actions are bleeding into civilian processes. ICE and USCIS are now cross-checking databases in real time under Operation Safeguard. A small inconsistency, even a typo between your I-94 and your tax record, can trigger a system flag. Some permanent residents have been detained temporarily during citizenship interviews after algorithmic background alerts, even with clean legal records. And we've already seen it happen. In one documented case this April, Mohsin Moe, a lawful permanent resident in Vermont, was detained immediately after his citizenship interview. No criminal record, no pending charges. The court later ordered his release, ruling the arrest unjustified. But the damage was done. He lost months of work, faced legal fees, and his case remains in limbo. His story became a wake-up call for thousands of immigrants nationwide. So who's at risk? Anyone with inconsistencies between their online behavior, their paperwork, and their public persona. The immigration process has now entered the era of digital judgment. Your social media posts, your work history, and even your neighborhood reputation are all under one lens. But here's the lifeline. Information is your armor. Knowing what's happening is half the battle. If you prepare early, align your records, and clean your digital footprint, you can pass through these new filters safely. In the next segment, I'll show you exactly what to do right now to stay ahead of the 2025 immigration curve, including how to respond to these changes, prepare your records, and protect your eligibility before your case gets flagged. Because 2025 isn't the year to react, it's the year to prepare like your future depends on it. And trust me, it does. Now that you understand what's happening behind the curtain, let's talk about survival. Because in 2025, USCIS isn't just reviewing your documents, it's reviewing your digital life, financial consistency, community reputation, and your behavior. The smallest inconsistency could trigger a review, delay, or even a denial. But if you act now, smartly, strategically, and ahead of time, you can outmaneuver this system before it catches you off guard. Let's start with the most critical step. Update your I-495 strategy immediately. If you've already filed for adjustment of status, your medical exam form I-6193 is now valid only while your I-485 remains pending. That means if your application drags past its active window, gets denied, or is withdrawn, that medical report expires instantly. No exceptions. Thousands of applicants learned this the hard way in 2025, paying another $400.00 to $700.00 to redo medicals. Don't let that be you. Schedule your medical as close to your final submission as possible and make digital and paper copies. If your case stalls, contact your attorney to request an expedited review, citing the new expiration rule. Next, gather your character references early. Now, under the revived neighborhood and workplace verification checks, USCIS officers can contact people around you to verify your reputation and behavior. Don't wait for that surprise. Proactively ask trusted supervisors, co-workers, or community leaders to prepare character letters confirming your integrity, work ethic, and civic conduct. These documents can help defend your case if it's flagged for ideological review. It's not paranoia, it's insurance. Now, the digital trap. Remember the August 2025 anti-Americanism screening rule? USCIS and DHS are using new AI-based systems to scan social media for signs of anti-American rhetoric or hostile engagement. These tools don't understand nuance, they detect keywords, patterns, and associations. A meme you shared 2 years ago, a heated political comment, or even sarcastic humor could be misinterpreted. Audit your online presence. Search your full name on Google, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Delete or privatize old posts that could be misread. Avoid engaging in politically charged discussions under your real name. Keep your digital profile neutral and factual, especially while your application is active. Third, stay current on all financial and tax records. The IRS and DHS now operate under a shared data channel. Misfilings, unpaid state taxes, or inconsistencies between your declared income and work authorization can trigger background reviews. If you owe taxes, contact the IRS and set up a payment plan before your interview. Keep copies of your tax transcripts, W-2S or 199S, for at least 3 years. Bring them to your citizenship or green card interview, even if not requested. Officers appreciate documentation that shows voluntary compliance. Fourth, and this one's crucial, don't travel recklessly. If you're a green card holder spending extended time abroad, especially more than 6 months, expect intense questioning upon re-entry. Officers will ask, where did you live? What is your primary residence? Do you intend to return permanently? If your answers don't match your records, your re-entry could be flagged as abandonment of residency. Keep a U.S. lease, bank account, tax record, and mailing address active even while abroad. Never sign Form I-407C, abandonment of residence, at an airport under pressure. Always request legal counsel before signing anything. Next, watch out for RFEs, requests for evidence. These have skyrocketed since September 2025 as officers tighten reviews. If you receive one, respond within 48 hours if possible. Each day of delay can push your case into the next processing cycle, meaning months of extra waiting. Organize all your documentation now. IDs, marriage certificates, W-2S, travel history, and communication proof if you're in a relationship-based case. Anticipate what they'll ask and have it ready. Now let's talk protection in interviews. Under the current 2025 protocols, officers are empowered to ask open-ended questions about your political or moral values. If you're caught off guard, don't argue, don't joke, and don't over-explain. Keep your tone calm, factual, and focused on your respect for U.S. laws and principles. If they ask about political issues, redirect politely. I respect different opinions, but I value what this country stands for, opportunity and fairness. Keep it short, confident, and apolitical. Here's the reality check. USCIS isn't out to get you, but it is out to test you. The 2025 environment favors those who are meticulous, compliant, and well-prepared. Those who take shortcuts, procrastinate, or treat their paperwork casually will pay the price. And finally, always have an immigration attorney on standby. You don't need to retain one full-time, but keep contact information ready for an attorney who understands both immigration and constitutional law. If you're detained, served an RFE, or question about your public statements, call immediately. Never navigate enforcement alone. Because here's the truth. The 2025 immigration system rewards those who adapt. The people who stay informed, precise, and composed will survive, even thrive, under these new rules. So if you're watching this, do one thing today. Audit your life before USCIS does. Your documents, your taxes, your social media, your circle. Get everything straight now. Because while others are panicking at interviews or losing cases over expired forums and old Facebook posts, you'll be walking in prepared, calm, compliant, and ready. The immigration landscape has changed, but if you play smart, you'll stay standing when the dust settles. And if you found this breakdown valuable, don't just scroll away. Share this video with someone waiting for their green card or citizenship, because in 2025, knowledge isn't just power, it's protection.